Alrighty then, mic check.
Good
We are getting into the stream here this morning. I am one trade in. We've got the rest of our 5 trades here lined up. One trade in, getting right to things here. Let's do this.
Long harmonic pattern, NASDAQ on the 2s.
Alrighty then, before we get started here this morning, don't forget,
Fib dot,
make
NASDAQ
sure and
on the
smash
2s.
that like button like you mean it. And of course, don't forget to follow
Harmonic
us over
pattern,
here
NASDAQ
on
the
the old
5.
Facebook, and lots of fun here on Instagram. You're really missing out on the internals, the behind the scenes, my place, and come hang out with us there. And of course here on YouTube, we are going to be streaming this live here. Let's get into this here. We got some feedback that you guys do like to see all of the charts at once and then kind of zooming in, so we're going to try to apply that here this morning. So starting up here, of course, at the top left, and we will see all of our charts. We've got some good speed and volatility here this morning, so want to take advantage of that. Remember, we are in earnings season. Go back and watch some of the videos on what that means for us with that increased volatility. Again, we've got all 4 of our instruments here. These are what would be considered the higher time frames. We've got 2 levels there. We've got the tide and the wave. You can learn about that in our training programs on how we look at those. And then we're going to come down here. Most of the stuff you're going to see here this morning, it's really the afternoon now, getting a later start here. Again, what's the beautiful thing about ALGOBOX, we do not need to be here at the open. You can pick any time of day, sit down at your desk, just know where you're at in the sessions. I'll actually talk about that as a talking point here in just a moment.
NASDAQ
We'll be coming
on
into
that
these charts down here like this. This is the RTY, going to be our primary instrument here this morning, along with the YM, as we are doing the small account challenge. There are the limitations of trading with a small account, and we are
Harmonic
demonstrating
pattern,
how
NASDAQ,
you would trade
Fib
starting
dot,
with a small
NASDAQ
account
on the
and
2s.
working your way up, etc. So if you haven't been following the challenge, I do encourage you at least to kind of go back to watch day 1, maybe go watch the day where I overtraded. Instead of taking 5 or 6 trades, end up taking 8 during that session. Lots of good things in each one of these that I think, you know, if you even read down in the comments in those videos of what our own members are seeing and getting from those videos, it's going to be very, very helpful for you if you are learning the system, going through our training and mentorship videos, and you're getting the individual setups and strategies, how you put it all together in real time. It's going to be really, really helpful for you, taking it to the next level where you're adding to position, getting, you know, each adjusting size, not adding to losers, but adding when the position is going your direction, and deciding whether or not you're going to. It's sort of like if you've got your cards to you, you got the, like, let's use the poker analogy there. You got your cards in hand. You know what cards you've been dealt.
Harmonic pattern.
Is this a scenario where you want to bet big or you're going to bet small? And we help with that as well. I think it's very, very helpful for most of these. And we want to take our time to walk through most of this here while we're doing the small account challenge. It's the whole point. I hope you guys are really getting something out of this. If you are, again, like I said, likes are free. So do me a favor and smash that like button for us. Drop me a comment. That also helps and tells YouTube that, hey, this is a great place to hang out, and that other people would like to be able to see this type of content if they are a trader like yourself. So let's zoom out to the all screens level here so that you can see all of them. Remember, I am on a multi-screen setup here, so this is really what I'm looking at. We are, let's see, is this top right here? Let's see. Oh, nope, I gotta get my drawing tool here. Let's try this. So this is gonna be my top right screen. and it's going to be a top left screen. So while it all looks like it's all on one on yours, I do recommend if you are watching our stream for the first time, turn your settings all the way up. Down below, I am streaming this in high definition, not just HD. This is 2K resolution. You should be able to run this at 1440p. So if you're on a 4K monitor or a 2K monitor, you're really going to get the best out of being able to see everything that we're doing here when I'm zoomed out in this format so that you can see all 4 instruments. But each one of these is actually laid out on an individual screen here on my layout, okay? And there are hardware layouts that we talk about in our crew. If you do want to use our system, of course, 2-week free trial, and if you need an extension on that, you are more than welcome to come and ask, and we will let you use it for free. No questions asked. Just come on in, hang out with us in our crew, and you can see their results as well. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was there at the sessions. So let me pull up what time of day. A little bit of a, some people might think, oh, this is an odd time of day for you to be jumping in. We're coming in here, almost lunchtime, and like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to trade during lunchtime. Well, actually, we have a lunch robot that will literally trade for us at lunch, and that does come with our gold member package. Let me type !sessions. So if you know what sessions we're looking at, this is one of our commands in our room. Let's zoom in here to screen 5. Okay, so this is inside of our trade room. I typed !sessions, and you're going to see this little setup right here. So here's where we're trading right here. Okay, so time of day now, we're coming in here. We're in the beast mode hour, which again, this is a really great time to be looking for what we call the J-hook setup. If we get a trap and a move off of a J-hook, these can oftentimes continue through the rest of the day. One of those really cool bonus trades that we'll look for. Again, if the market gives it to us, we anticipate what map that we're going to trade, that we're going to be trading on. But like jumping into a video game, there can be surprises. So what we do is prepare ourselves, but we're ultimately reacting to what the market is giving us. Okay, so here's the session times, and again, there are different sessions. There's a morning session. This is the one that everybody's kind of familiar with. I think anybody who's ever day traded, whatnot, is typically used to trading this early morning session. But actually, one of my favorites is the afternoon session here at 2 o'clock. I talk about this in some of my videos around why I like the afternoon session. I can see how the day has set up. I can determine whether or not, again, with a lot of experience, you'll be able to see if this is going to be one of those just trend run type of days, or if we're going to get some action back and forth. And so I can really maximize my end of day section right here. Again, one of my personal favorites. Does it matter which one that you trade? No, there are personal preferences with that, and particularly if you are choosing through which strategies you are going to kind of master for yourself. We have around a dozen master strategies, and then you choose some of those to make your bread and butters. And of course, I really do want you to know all the strategies so that you can use them in confluence with one another. But I just want to make this note here today, as we've been through our challenge. We're on day 8 now of the small account day trading challenge, and you should have learned a whole lot from what we're doing here, and we'll just continue on with that here today. Again, we got a lot of activity here, so I'm really anticipating that we'll have some fairly decent activity, as long as the activity keeps up here. And with earnings reports coming up here in the next 2 weeks, that's why we know these 2 weeks here are going to be this volatile time period here. Even though summertime is oftentimes kind of the doldrums, this is that one little spot here where we get this extra oomph, and we'll have some activity. So that's our anticipation, but at the end of the day, we are just going to react and trade the setups that we get. All right, so we know what time of day we're trading. That's what we're looking at. And we could be looking for, some pretty big trades during this time. And I'll go ahead and let's see if there's anything else. One of the other things I want to look at here is, what is the current VIX at? !VIX in our room is going to pop this up. So current VIX reading is at 16.74. Not too high, but it's above 13, 14. So we are on the higher side. And again, but you need to look at that being relative, which is why we look at the previous VIX from the day before. So previous VIX was 16.33. We're at 16.74. So it's going to be like the activity-ish from yesterday with a little more. So that's good news. And our members have absolutely been crushing it here this morning. Loving seeing everybody. Outstanding results here from you guys. We'll come and do a recap of those later tonight. But just seeing you guys absolutely crush it. Super excited and proud of the crew. So if you guys are watching here later, just absolutely great. Even our brand new folks, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing fantastic, and putting your entire reports out there is super awesome. These guys, we'll do an update on them. We're going to do a Wrecking Ball Wednesday release video from last night. on the old DTP. They are, you know, liar, liar, pants on fire. I mean, just one lie after the other with these guys. And, you know, honestly, it's not, we don't care about what they're saying about us or any of that. I mean, it can be if it becomes a problem. Obviously, we can definitely do something about it. But, you know, ultimately, I just want the public to know what's going on with these you know, groups that are just constant lies. It is just lie after lie after lie from these folks, and we'll do a whole thing on that, and just let you guys know what's happening with those, so you can avoid and save yourself the time and the troubles. This was my first trade that I took earlier. I did take a screenshot of this, put it in the room. That before we were on stream, this is just too juicy for me to pass up. RTY, I mean, there's just so much confluence going on this trade here. There was my first trade short there. So if you're wondering, like, okay, why am I on trade number 2 already before we started the stream? It happens. I come up to the desk here, getting things set up. You know, this thing is just screaming at me to take this trade. AudioBox, if you have not looked into what Flowmaster AudioBox is, that's those beats that you're hearing, like those, you'll hear 2 different sounds. You'll hear a high-pitched clack and a lowercase boom, and you can determine whether or not that is a high pitch going up or a low pitch, meaning that we've got some big sellers coming in or we've got big buyers, and the speed and the repetition from which they are hitting the tape across the E-minis. These are across all 4 of the E-minis. That's why we have this centralized on a server and disseminating that through our audio channel, which is going to be right over here. So that's why you see lots of folks hanging out here in the AudioBox room. And yeah, we'll let our audio bot, that's AudioBox, if I can type here today. So let me let the
Attention, new
robot friend tell us about it.
2 distinct and perceptible types generated by Flowmaster AudioBox. An advanced level audio detection system. These 2 audibly perceived sounds consist of a higher pitched clack and a lower pitched boom. The higher pitched sounds and their frequency represent the aggressiveness and entry to the market of big buyers at the level. Conversely, the lower pitched boom 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 sounds are the institutional sized algos selling at the level. To learn more, watch the training videos.
All right, thank you, Pippi. I'm gonna take this. Is this a shark back play coming right here off of RTY? Get my stop back here. So shark back play here coming off the 5s plus a red headshot. I can't not take that trade right there. Beautiful little setup. Just happened to be coming in right there. I'll be watching YM. We've got a nice setup coming in there as well. But that looks like to the long side. This is going to be a little bit odd here, but I want to get long on YM. Here, let me zoom out here, and we've got a double cross double move with a green headshot coming in on this as well. All this right here. So easy target up there. Look at that PRZ target. I feel like this might be a bonus day here. This is going to be getting a little hashtag too easy here. Green headshot, double cross, double move. Oh, that just turned into a cluster. Okay, hold on. I'm going to close out that trade. I'm short on the RTY, and that turned into a cluster. We'll take a note of this later on. Let's play out this one here while it's going. Sorry, this is moving fast. I know, folks. We'll come back and react to that. Basically, this is how we're playing the video game. Basically, just very easy setup type of stuff here. There she goes. So shark back play. Those of you guys who are familiar with the shark back, if you're watching this at a later time, type it down in the comments if you know about the shark back or have watched the shark back. Make a note and maybe give an exclamation mark, shark back, exclamation mark, if you have seen it. If you have not seen the shark back, maybe you can request a link to the video on that. It is in the free training section on our website if you want to learn that. There we go. Targets filled. That is awesome. I need to get my little audio buttons going on there for that.
We love you. You're very special.
Thanks, Trump.
Okay. I love it.
Thanks, Trout. Appreciate that, bruh. All right, so nice little target right there. Easy shot. So technically, I'm not going to count that other one as 3 on the YM, as that was kind of a scratch. But let's go up and watch this one play out here on YM, because there could be a nice double cross double move here on this play, but it also might be a cluster turn, which is what that turned into. Come up to this streaming thing. Okay, here we go. Top screen right here. So I've got a PRZ target down there. I'm going to take a short right here. So this is a cluster play. If you have watched our video on clusters, this is basically now 3 or more crosses in a section at a spot where I may already anticipate a reversal. Again, I'm not going to get crazy here. I'm going against MACV, so noted, right? I'm looking for target 1. I'm not trying to get crazy with this. I'm going to put my stops back here behind the cross here, and we're going to see if we can get a little play here out of a cluster. So originally this was going to be a double cross, and I've told people before, if you're going to be a double cross player, finger over the close. I'm hearing buyers.
Delta
I do need to be careful of that.
Fib dot.
RTY is putting in a red dot and moving down. That should help us out, hopefully. Sorry, this is the thing that's hard about streaming and talking, trying to make sure we get some good training in while I'm
Harmonic
actually
pattern.
trying to trade
NASDAQ
in wide.
on the twos.
You're really trying to maximize your opportunities. That streaming and doing it live is probably not the best idea. But while we're doing the small account challenge, I committed to making sure that we can walk through as much as possible. There we go. That should help us out. We got a moon just came in there. I'm going to add to position here. Again, still going to be targeting target 1. I'm not going to get crazy with it. But let's see if we can get inside this. Yeah, I might put it down here at the bottom of this little shark. Yeah, maybe a shark here. Again, not going to try to get crazy with it. We've got white cross here on the 5s as well. It's in a good spot. Wow, we are in a good spot there. Stops back behind that cross. The top of this moon is 847. 47s. So if this starts to pull in, I can pull the stop in behind that 47 or the hold. But really just want to see if we can get to that target 1 here. Although, you know what? That's probably 15 ticks. 15, not 10. Okay. Let's see. I've got my finger over the close here. That was probably 10 ticks right there. To the end of that. Let's see. But we do have this off of the 5. So if this was only coming off of the lowest time frame. Oh, there's a red dot. Add to position. Let's see if I can maximize the play on this. I'm going to put this back behind the red dot now.
On the 5s. Long.
Finger
Fib
over
dot.
the close.
NASDAQ on the MACV.
Okay, she
Fib dot.
decides to
NASDAQ
get spicy.
on the wave. Fib dot.
Get there.
NASDAQ on the 2s.
Are you? Aren't you? Okay, if it breaks that red dot, I have to be really careful there. If that does end up turning into a push move,
Fib dot.
I have to
NASDAQ
keep aware of that.
on the
We
2s.
are still going against MACV. That is the main concern here. What's ES doing? ES is giving us a mix, so that kind of helps us out. If ES were solid green, I'd be a little bit more nervous about this.
Harmonic pattern. NASDAQ on the 2s.
May kick myself later for not taking the 10 ticker off of this, but again, we're coming off of the 5s. We've got the 8s, we got the 5s, cluster. So cluster entry. Remember, if you are a double cross double move, so I'm gonna talk to the double cross double move folks. Again, I know you guys know that is like one of my absolute favorite trades. You guys have seen my trading recently. You know, those have really helped us out a lot. Probably been some of my biggest plays off of those double cross double moves. If you're a double cross double move, so I had a little bit of a tongue twister there. Double cross double move player, you need to be very aware. Okay, I got my finger a little close here. If we break that red dot, I'll kill it. Very hard to talk through things and trade at the same time. Okay, there we go. In queues, push it down. I'm hearing sellers. Come on, YM, what are you doing? You got your correlated buddies all dropping here for me. Why are you not dropping for me?
Harmonic pattern, NASDAQ on the 5s.
NQ is dropping like a rock. Trying to keep a steady hand here. Come on, YM. So YM is, you know, from a correlation standpoint, YM is stronger than these other markets. I mean, RTY turned down a little bit. NASDAQ really turned down hard, but YM really kind of staying up here. So relative, YM feels like she's got the upward move, and I'm gonna have to keep that noted. This trade should not have taken this long. I say that, and as I think about it, I'm like, well, do I have something coming off the 8s? Actually, I have something coming off the 8s. So,
on the 2s.
As we've said before, if your play is coming off of the 8s, you know, there's pluses and minuses to it. It may take a while for it to get to your targets coming off of something off of the 8s, but you've got all the time in the world to get in on it. So it's a plus and a minus.
Fib dot, NASDAQ on the 5s.
But what I was trying to say earlier, sorry, I keep getting distracted by other items. A double cross double move can turn into a cluster very, very quickly, right? So that's what happened there. We had 2, so that would be good. We're going to be looking for that long direction with the MACV. We've got green dots back behind it, green dot inside here. So I'm going to be looking for that long, which is what I first did. Like, oh, cool. We had a PRZ target up there. Easy to be thinking about a DCDM. However, as soon as that other cross comes in, that kind of changes things. That is very, very close together. If you guys understand that's a cluster, type down in the comments down below. Be like, you know, type in, yeah, I see the cluster. If you get it to just say, I see the cluster, or I saw the cluster. This is, what are we on, trade 3? Trade 3, saw the cluster, or you don't understand it, you know, maybe put that down and we can get you directed to the proper video to find the video on the cluster. I don't believe the cluster is in the free section, so if you're wondering, like, well, you're in the 2-week free trial and you're using our system and you're like, well, I don't remember seeing cluster video, that is in the premium member section, but I don't mind sharing that with you if you're interested in checking out the cluster video. Just let me know down in the comments down below, and I will post you a link in the response to the cluster video, and you can watch the details on that. Okay, take all day. Take your time. Take your time, YM. We had all this speed here, then all of a sudden we just slowed down. Now again, we are kind of coming in. We're approaching lunch here. We're 5 minutes away from the noon, so maybe, but within this 5 minutes here, hopefully this gives us the push we want. But since it's hanging on up here, if we start to break and go up, I'm going to go ahead and measure this out. We also have this J hook setup coming in here with target 1, target 2, target 3. I forgot to mention that additional confluence we got going on here. Even though it broke past the back of that, I do take a note of the fact that there was a
NASDAQ
J hook short down here as well with this play. So let me measure this out. F8. All right, right, so right in the double crosses. So that would be the double cross target up there. And my worst case scenario, if I get stopped out here, I will, and if this just runs and I don't get into this position, if it starts to push and it breaks through this area and goes, oh, okay, we're gonna add to it. We've got, oh man, okay, we're getting to turn this into a beast here. Let me push these out. There's a PRZ target down there. Okay, double dot headshot plus a cluster. Yes, please.
On the twos. Fib dot Nasdaq on the fives.
Now, if I'm wrong, okay, if this breaks again, there's nothing is 100%, folks. But I mean, this is a pretty good setup coming in right here.
Delta buy building.
YM. Wait for it. So if we end up pushing up here though, I'm already thinking ahead here. What I'll be doing is I want to try to push this. If we get breaking on up here, I've got space up there to target. And then I will try to get a little ganky with it, and I'll try a little short right here at that gold line. Off of that gold line right there, I'm going to look to short there if I'm wrong here on this. And then we start to push up. I'm hearing sellers though. Come on. NQ is dropping.
Harmonic pattern. Nasdaq on the fives.
ES is a little bit green, but it's mixed. Let me zoom out so you guys can see. This is taking forever. Let's zoom out so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm looking at my correlated markets here. Why I'm feeling like this should be going. NQ. Look at NQ. NQ is just on a dive bomb. I'm not quite to the level on our small account challenge where I can trade NQ effectively from a size perspective. So you guys know I've been pretty disciplined staying off of NQ during our small account challenge so far. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow we'll be at a P&L goal here where NQ will come on the platter, because look at that. I mean, that NQ is just so juicy. There's a double cross, double move in there. Boom. Double cross, double move with double dot. Boom. I mean, look at this. Oh my word. So great. Look at this. Now this one would have been a little bit tricky, but see that pink dot right there? That is a power headshot short. Look at this drop. Oh my word. So I thought that correlation was going to help me with my YM. And this is the thing. Sometimes, I mean, it's right on. Like, all of them will go. Here we go. Now we're starting to cook here on YM. Let's zoom back into that one. Can I get zoomed in for you guys here? Okay.
Nasdaq on the.
Here we go. So I thought this would happen a lot faster. Seeing like NQ's turning down. I think ES. I didn't get to kind of point out ES on that high time frame. Did you guys see that on ES? So ES has been back and forth on the MACV. See, we've got red, green in the histogram, and we're basically what I kind of call jail up here on the MACV, just basically back and forth. So you kind of wait for it, and look at that. That's a headshot short on ES. If the markets weren't going so slow and I wasn't already in position, ES would be a great shot there on a headshot short here off of ES on the 8s. That could be a very big play there. We are in YM, we can play the correlation, and that's what I'm really hoping here for. It's the only reason I'm really kind of still holding out for this. But if that ES ends up, if I start to hear buyers on the tape and it push, obviously I've got to change my thought direction and position on that. But this is still, you know, I can't ignore all of this great setup coming in right here on this. I'm just kicking myself that I can't really trade NQ quite yet. But maybe tomorrow. We'll see how we do in our P&L here today and look at the account balance at that point. And remember, NQ is going to be $1,000 a contract, and I can technically do it with 5 contracts right now, but I really kind of want to push that and wait till we kind of get to 7 or 8K on that, which actually I think we are. I think we just crossed it yesterday. We're over 7K, but I don't think we're hit 8. So what I'll do is I'll hold out until I'm at the 8K mark. Okay, here we go. Get there. Give me that target. Get it. Get it. Excellent.
Target filled.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, let me push out some runner. Finally, I'm hearing the sellers. Oh, look at this. Turns into, we get a double cross up there. Okay, so again, we're getting to play off the 5s and the 8s here. Oh, there's a PRZ target. Let's put it at the PRZ. Front running that PRZ target by a hair.
Target filled.
There we go.
Delta
Target's
building.
filled. Okay. And this PRZ, let's see if that's going to be the end of that play or not. Or it could just boom, break. That would be fine. That's fine.
For a long.
We know there's a PRZ target
Delta buy
right
building.
here. Gotta respect it.
Harmonic pattern. NASDAQ on the 2s.
Delta buy building.
Take your time, YM. Take your time, really. I do kind of hope it does take its time. That means you can grind farther. Okay, we are right on it. That's a diamond, so I'm not super worried about that. Diamond is the
Delta buy building.
least important of the harmonics. Unless a
Harmonic
dot
pattern.
shows up. If a
NASDAQ
dot shows
on the
up,
2s.
then we want to play that as a diamond dot play. Diamonds are the weakest harmonic setup. If anybody's taking notes, we talk about that in other videos. Cipher or something. Okay, yeah, we're reacting right there. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Very, very good. Again, we're going against MACV. You know, you never know. This thing could turn straight up. MACV still green. Got to respect that. All right, we'll take it right there. Excellent work. Was that trade 3? Yeah, we call it 3.5 because of the one from earlier when it was the scratch trade. I basically scratched it first. I'm going to count that as trade 3. I got 2 more here to get me to my 5 trades. Let's look around. What we got here. So RTY is, oh my word, are they handing out candy? Okay, I'm getting short on RTY. Tap, tap, tap.
Short.
And pulling my targets around. Sorry folks, I know this is moving fast. Come down to get you guys on a screen here for you. Alright, so I just entered in short. Look at all these dots up here. I'm hearing
Harmonic
sellers.
pattern.
I've got a
Nasty.
PRZ
Short.
target down here.
Look
I
for
can't pass
short.
that up. We've got red. Harmonic Crab Gartley coming in on the 5s.
Target
We've got it on
filled.
the 8s. Excellent.
Target filled.
Excellent. Push it. You gonna give me that last one? No, you're not. Okay. Okay, there we go. Again, we're going against the MACV here on the histogram. So again, I'm going to be perfectly satisfied on a play if I'm going to get a double dot scenario, power dot, boom. Again, a runner is going to be inside of any green. Green dot, the green PRZ, whatever. Again, that basically is where I'm going to place my runner. That is trade number 4 for our market trading video game we love to call ALGOBOX trading. Excellent. Okay, so watch this MACV. We're starting to turn. We've got a little bit of a turn shift red here. We've got our Crab Gartley. The crab component, it's going to be way, way up here. So I have to keep that in mind. Oh, that was a good exit. Good exit right there. See? And that's why, right there. See, even if you want to come back and re-enter on something, you know, still look, just respect the MACV. That's really the, I mean, if I had to say any of my main advice that you could possibly get, like I had to narrow it down, you know, everybody was always like, well, what if you had to narrow it down to one or two things? Just respect the MACV, folks. Look at the MACVs, and again, kind of take them all together in the correlated markets. Look at NQ. NQ is solid red right now. This is why I thought earlier, like, well, I thought the other markets kind of come down with it, because look at NQ. NQ is just solid red. ES has put in we've got a pink dot up here now, double dot ES, headshot. Wow, ES is dropping, so again, the rest of these should also drop with it. We've got a red dot coming in on YM. I'm going to give this is probably going to be my 5th, potentially final trade here. I'm hearing sellers. I've got ES turning. I get a red
Long.
dot
Look for
here
long.
coming in on the YM. Pretty far behind that entry, unfortunately. That's 15 ticks. Do I have something coming off the top? I do, so I'll leave that at the 15 tick.
Harmonic
I can always
pattern.
bail early if I
NASDAQ
need to.
on
Got
the
my
twos.
finger over the close on the YM play here. RTY is coming into king timing down there. Ooh, white cross just showed up on RTY. He's still green, turning red-ish. Got this red dot continuation here. Is it going to go? Hearing sellers. I hear lots of sellers right there. Here they come. Sell algo's kicking. MACV now is shifting red. That could be good. We've got large timing right there. There's a PRZ. See that PRZ show up? Boom. So I'm gonna get my target there. That will be, and basically I really want my whole thing off right there, but I've got my finger over the close in the event that the thing turns and if I'm wrong, but that's a beautiful target right down there. And that is more than 15 ticks, which is that's big, right? We have big, we have small. So our
NASDAQ
big target one is going to be 15, right? We do 10 and 15. It's already at 15. Oh, as I'm speaking. Turn up here. Turn up on me.
Fib dot. NASDAQ on the twos.
Oh, okay. Let's take some off right here. Oh, I don't want to do two. I'll take one off here.
Target filled.
Fib dot. NASDAQ on the fives.
Ooh. Okay, I'm hearing buyers. Oh, we're gonna get a break. We break that dot. I'll take it as a piercer, add my dot. I'll add my contract back. Okay, yep, I think we're breaking. Adding contract back. Piercing through the blue. I'm hearing the sellers turn, push, come on.
Harmonic.
In Q, still on a tear down. ES tearing down. YM happening to be hanging up. RTY is turning down. Everything is looking to the down, and I'm hearing sellers still. Okay, we are into a PRZ. I am perfectly satisfied with this trade at this point. If I have to take it off right here, I will. I'm hearing sellers. I'm going to put this now at the back of this PRZ. You see that little line back there? I'm going to set it right there. I can always press the close button. This is how I recommend. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
On the way.
Are we going to go? I'm going to push one out just in case. So my finger's always on the close. I can always bail early, but I want to set my targets, you know, at kind of maximizing my position. If she goes there, fantastic. If I have a reason I have to bail, you know, I can always press close. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Fib dot. NASDAQ.
So that is a shark PRZ. You should be able to, you'll start to determine these by their shape and size as you kind of start to learn the harmonics. You'll see how big that is and you'll know it's a shark. Why? Shark fin, right? It's the whole point of why it's the shark. It's the shape, but it's also, you know, how do you distinguish between a cipher and a shark and a butterfly? They all kind of have the same shape, but it's about that PRZ. On a shark, we've got that big fin. Think about a shark with a, you know, fin poking out of the water.
Harmonic
so
pattern.
big PRZ,
NASDAQ.
and of course our little line that we show on the back of a shark. Oh, we're gonna turn here. All right, let me pull this back out of the way just so you can see here. Okay, you see that line right there? That is the back of a shark back.
Harmonic pattern.
NASDAQ. And we're gonna stay inside the box. Got plenty of time to king timing. King timing is way over here. Be great if I can hold this out to king timing to complete out the distribution.
Harmonic pattern. NASDAQ.
what I'm talking about with that. So small, medium, large, king size. As you go across the verticals, I'm hearing sellers like crazy. There's the back of the shark. I just pulled that out of the way so you guys could see. Okay, I'm gonna close it right there. Oh man, not gonna push it. Not gonna push my luck. Trade 5. I don't want that to bounce here. This thing could take off right here. It's a shark back. You know, I'll take it right there. I would have liked to have held out to that. I'm still hearing sellers. I'm gonna kick myself if we just keep dropping here. I hear the sellers. The sharks, man, are just so strong. I don't want to.
NASDAQ.
Oh, we get a red dot in here. Okay, I'm gonna take it.
Harmonic pattern. NASDAQ.
Stop right behind the dot here. Let's see if we keep on going. See if we can hold it out to the king. All the way to king timing. Come on, you can do it. HMD red dot short. HMD meaning what? Harmona dot. Harmona dot, the first video in our training series. If you're going through the free section, HMD Harmona dot. That is a harmonic PRZ plus a dot inside.
Fib dot.
Simple
NASDAQ
as whatever the color of the dot is inside that PRZ.
Fib dot.
You play the PRZ as though it's like a power up zone.
On the twos.
The zone powers up whatever the play is. What is the play here? It's a red dot. The PRZ powers it up. That's the way that I teach it. Hold.
Fib dot. NASDAQ
Hold
on
it.
the twos. Fib dot. NASDAQ
Oh,
on the twos.
blue dot. Okay. I'm gonna
Harmonic
close it. I'm
pattern.
wrong. Okay. Taking a small little loss there. Okay. So that was trade number 6.
Delta cell building.
Serves me right. Okay. Yeah. Blue dot shows up.
Look for a long.
Yikes. All right. Trade number 6. Sorry, I thought I had you guys zoomed in. I just looked over to try to see what zoom level we're at here, and I got you guys on the wrong screen. So zoomed in there. Oh.
Delta cell
Yikes.
building.
All right. So I tried to get ganky with it. Like that can happen sometimes, but again, just you know, you can close out the position. All right, yeah. So we don't know. Is this going to be a turning point? I don't know, but that's my 6th trade. Holy shnikes! So tracking through. Here's again. Get your vision board printed out if you are new with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that 6th one. Usually, there's you guys have watched the other videos. Usually, I concentrate a little bit more on that 6th trade. I'm trying to make sure, you know, as we're kind of doing this, hopefully for more demonstration and educational purposes with you guys. I got my finger over the cell if this is going to go.
Fib dot.
That's a
NASDAQ on
big
the twos.
delta. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. 6 trades, discipline. What's our time? So we want to be, you know, 60 to 90 minutes. We're at 42
harmonic pattern
minutes
NASDAQ
in here.
On the twos.
6 trades, 1825. We'll have to see how the roster is doing. Ross Cameron, you know, it kind of fired this whole thing off about doing the small account challenge. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. So you guys give Ross a special shout out and thanks for him, you know, kind of, I guess, leading the way of let's doing a small account challenge, and he's, you know, whether he's on version 2 or whatever, driving around a bus, I mean, he's totally killing it. And I know Trump likes watching Ross.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, he always tells me he loves
NASDAQ on the fives.
He loves it. We've got that red bat phone.
Fib dot. NASDAQ.
And but we just play the game, 6 trades. That's right. So in the challenge, speaking of challenges,
J-hook short.
let's.
Fib dot. NASDAQ on the twos.
Oh, is she gonna keep going? Was that the turning point? So that is a beautiful HMD to the long side, but you know we're MACV red at this point. Here, I do hear some buyers kicking in. So look at this ES. So let's go around and look at what we're looking at. So hit show all here. Okay, so ES, remember we talked about, so always on your blue MACV chart here, this is where it all kind of started there on that headshot, really giving us that confidence and correlation that we can push. We've got a mixed bag here, which means that on any other correlated market, when I see this, I can play both directions. Everybody kind of understand that when this means that, you know, the overall market, remember this is the big daddy up here. ES, as ES goes, so go others in general. Okay, now I say in general because again, you can't just be like, oh, Vinny said it's this, so it's exactly this every time. The markets are not that specific, and it's not like the markets do not follow specific rules. They're not like, if this happens, then this. It'd be great if you did that. Then, you know, you could literally program any, you know, you could program how that works. It doesn't work that, but in general, this is why the cyborg style system is best, in my opinion. Cyborg meaning the mix of human and machine. The human element being able to do things like this, like being able to do what's called a lossy join in data terms. If you're a data programmer background like I have had, you know that that's a lossy join, meaning it's not a very down to the, you know, exact match on a join, but it is a lossy join. Okay, so lossy join, we are getting our idea from the big dog, taking note of that as we are trading our other instruments like an NQ, or in our case, what we were trading mostly here. Actually, we traded, we got a good mix there on YM and RTY. In YM and RTY, everybody's asking lately, like, Vinny, why are you trading those mainly? So that is because these are only $500 a contract on our brokers. Now, if you have Tradevate, again, unfortunately, Tradevate does not interface with NinjaTrader. But Tradevate actually still has, I think theirs is $550. Somebody told me yesterday that Tradevate is $550 for NQ. So there's one, you know, one positive thing for the Tradevate. They are giving you, you know, I'm doing air quotes here, better margins, but in reality, it's not that much difference, right? We're talking about $1,000 a contract, $550 for NQ, but with our brokers, using, you know, again, I don't like to say AMP because AMP no longer supports NinjaTrader, but I'm grandfathered in because I've literally been with them for 10 years. So, you know, my main account is with AMP, but I do have Dorman and Phillips accounts. So with those brokers, all of them are at $1,000 a contract right now on NQ. So keep that in mind. I hear sellers like crazy. Oh, look at that YM. Look at that. So we got a pink dot coming in here. I wouldn't really, you can't call this exactly a headshot. Those are pretty spaced out. I wouldn't say that. But if you're combining that right there, you've got the power of a headshot on that with the MACV red. Plus, remember we just talked about over here on the right, you got ES over there telling you that's a nice play setup if you're not, you know, if you haven't already exhausted your decision fatigue scenarios there and you're not on 6 trades in. That's another nice trade right there. Boom. And even if you're just exiting right here on that PRZ as it's coming in, look at that. Boom to boom. Very, very nice. Exit on your green. The beauty. Now you've got the MACV with you, so you can push out a runner.
Look for
right? Everybody understand that? And you got pink dot also correlated coming up here. So again, I know it sounds like it's a lot going on, but when you start to see it, you just see it, okay? When you start practicing with it, playing with it, you kind of, I joke about kind of becoming Neo from the Matrix. You just start to, I mean, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm saying all this stuff, I'm having to speak and trade at the same time. A little bit more difficult, but I'm trying to do my best here on these, you know, small account challenge where I can maximize how much information that I'm giving you guys. We're getting this extra volatility, so you know, it's easier for me to go ahead and do that and train while we've got the activity. Although we've had some slow days too. That Friday trading, you know, it's a good one to go back and watch the Friday trade from the small account challenge, and watching me having to like just sit there and torturously wait for activity and movement makes a very boring stream. But you know, trading is boring at times. A lot of people think that trading is just activity, you know, all the time, and you just, you know, it's a boiler room style, constant activity going.
Look for
Sometimes it's like that, but a lot of times it's not. And you've got to be able to have a system that gives you edge, which is what ALGOBOX does. And in my opinion, it's not hard. I know it can seem like it. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys put down in the comments. Does it seem too complicated? Is it overwhelming? Yeah, that's why we give people a 2-week free trial. And if you want to extend it, you need more time to decide. We are perfectly happy with doing that. And we're probably one of the few, trading industry educators and software providers that will also give you a 40-day money-back guarantee, like no questions asked. If you don't want it and you want to return it, you know, You got 40 days to decide even after that. And you know, if you have a special circumstance or something, come talk to me. And again, we are glad to do it. I want people who want to be here. That's you know, one of the things that we talk about with our program. And you know, our crew is awesome. And you know, our crew, these are not paid people. They pay to be here and want to be here. And those I think their results kind of speak for themselves. So speaking of results, I guess let's go over my results. Let's pull our stuff over. What is today's date? We are on the 15th, so let's run our performance report for the 15th, and then we'll also look at how we've done overall through the contest. So let's pull back all the way back to the beginning of the contest, and we'll hit generate here. So let's look at the overall, and then we'll zoom in to
NASDAQ on the twos.
To the day here. So that will be the 5th through now. So we're on 10 days. It's weird to say 10 days because that is 10 days would be including the weekend. So because I was like, wait a minute, we're only on like day 8, right? Yeah, so the weekend is in there as well. Okay, so where are we? We're at 10,270. So this these are our profits for the entire time period. Again, we did that whole reset with Ross, so you gotta take that into perspective. He reset, so we reset on Monday. So let's change that date to hold on. Let's do some of this. If you guys will bear with me, from day 1 of the original day trading small account challenge. My video here. Hey everybody. Okay, so starting from the beginning with Ross, and now he's driving around a bus. I can't do that. Again, he's got me on that. I cannot drive a bus and trade at the same time. I could not fit my monitors, and I don't know how I don't know how he does it. He's very good, folks. Whatever he's doing, he's very good at that. So I appreciate him, you know, kind of inspiring us to go ahead and do the small account challenge after, you know, 5 years of us being out here and, you know, publicly. Again, I've been trading for over 15 years, and as we've been out here, man, have never even, you know, I never even considered doing a small account challenge stuff again. I think Ross has even seen this too. Once you have traded large account size, like it's sort of weird going back. Why would you go and trade
on the wave
super small unless, again, you're just trying to sell? And you might be like, well, Vinny, isn't that what you're doing? And I'm kind of going, well, yeah, kind of. I'm literally going out here going, well, if you think that Ross's stuff is better, because honestly, to me, it's a competition thing. Like, I'm a big competitor, and I do honestly think that our stuff is better. So we took the opportunity to go ahead and go, you know, we had some people go, hey, Vinny, you know, you ever thought about doing one of these? And I've always been like, no. And then Ross is I'm like, you know what? Let's just, if it's a competition, let's have some fun with it. I figure we fun, education, yes, get some people hopefully inspired to see that, hey, maybe you don't have to go and do the usual thing and get, you know, education regurgitated to you, you know, from somebody else, and you actually also comes with an actual system that gives you edge. We're going to show the results. And so we're taking this competition. Sorry, I'm babbling on and on about it. But, you know, we've had a lot of questions on, you know, how are we doing it? Why are we doing it? And I hope you guys understand it. If you get it, great, put it down in the comments. If you got questions, you know, put those down there and we'll try to answer them for you. So here's where we are overall. When we started this from the very beginning, let's look at the chart. Let's change it to our hourly and see where our drawdowns are. How about the half hour and entry times? Okay, so looks like worst time of day is right at the 2 o'clock half hour, and this happens to be due to FOMC day. Not that FOMC is going to be, you know, bad particularly. I just kind of watched it on the FOMC day, taking a drawdown, and you know, that can happen. So that's where that 2 o'clock scenario is from a half hour standpoint. And let's look at this one. It's probably going to be helpful. We've got to take it to the daily, and then we can do cumulative net profit. So, yeah, there's where we are over the contest from end to end. We got this finally something that we can kind of look at. Again, this is a short time period, so it's not like, oh, you know, these are greatest stats ever, and you can't really look at this, you know, and go, oh, well, that's it's just statistically not enough time to really gather information from. But if you guys have seen us doing this over and over and over again, looking at our results in our room from myself, our members, go check those out in the public chat area, and that is all open to everybody to go and check out. So 63% profitable, 2.87 profit factor. These are the two numbers that I'm always talking about. This one less so. A lot of people put a whole lot of emphasis there on that percentage, but I put the most emphasis here on this profit factor. I think this is everything because that actually determines what this can be. So 2.87, that means that my winners are 2.87 times the size of my losers.
On the Tuesday.
So nearly 3 times the size, and that's really what I want to focus on. This is the edge that ALGOBOX gives you. Just consistently, the entries that you're going to take, your stops are going to be back behind a dot or they're going to be back behind a cross, so that should keep you in very small stop outs. And when they're pushing, they're going to be big plays and allow you the opportunity also to add to position when the market is giving it to you, adding to position while the market is going your direction, rather than what most gurus do when they do things and they use terms like digging. I'm digging my way out. I mean, these are not good terms. I don't know why everybody's like, oh yeah, I got to dig, and you know, they try to play it out. It's like the worst thing in the world you could possibly do, but they act like it's good. I'm gonna dig my way out, and so you know, they average down, average down, average down. You know, some of, like I heard. You know, DTP the other day going, I'm gonna double up, and I'm like, dude, you're a martingale and you wonder why you blew out you know, 7 months into your martingale strategy. You know, that's going to happen in a martingale thing, and you're doing these little dig outs, you're going to get borked, and you can do all this effort for months, and then you're gonna wipe it out in a day with that really bad set of strategies. It's not a good strategy,
NASDAQ
in my opinion.
On the wave.
So let's look at, okay, fair and fair. Let's go to where Ross has reset. So he wanted to reset after this week. So he reset here on the 12th. So we reset there to say, okay, so starting with 2,500 again in size, so I can only trade 5 contracts. We've done a bit better this week. Again, this week did not have that FOMC day in there, probably the biggest point on that. So this week, 3.48 profit factor, 68% profitable. I mean, look, these are that's really great stats here. And a lot of that is, again, it's not always going to be this high. Even for myself, this is lower than this typically. But right now we've got that volatility. And that's why I always tell everybody is that, you know, the season, what the market gives you, you're trading what the market gives you. It doesn't have to do specifically with you. It's what the market is allowing. It's like trading like a business in the format of you're running your business and you've got customers coming in the door or customers not coming through your door. The market determines how many customers are coming through your door. The numbers of opportunities and the trade setups, like picture those like customers wanting to purchase your product and you being there to service them. Make sense? So we've had a lot of that because of what's going on right now. Earnings report season, right? How do we know that? You guys got your, you know, the paper one. Okay, if you guys want to get one of these, I've got the links down in our Discord chat. All right, got our spiral here where we can look out ahead of time, knowing our seasonality, where we are from a monthly perspective, and know what news events and things are coming. We know earnings season is right now, so we get that extra volatility and pickup. We expect more customers coming through the door, and sure enough, the markets have given that to us. So there we are right now in the contest as we've reset. We're at 52, 17, 84, profit factor 3.1, 3.48, and 68.3. Okay, you guys bored enough with that yet? So again, that's not very fun to look at. Nothing exciting about that. Hourly might be interesting. Let's look at the hourly. And I like to do the half hour, so you can break it all the way down. We get some more bars. So you can see the times of day that we've traded this week. So we've done a morning session scenario, we've done afternoon sessions, and we've got midday sessions. This is another one of those advantages I've talked about with ALGOBOX. Again, we don't really care what time of day we're sitting down. We just want activity to show up, and you still need to set your, it's like opening up as your business. You know what day of the week it is. Tuesdays, if you're running a restaurant, might not be your best day, but expecting that, okay, well, Tuesday's probably gonna be slow, not a lot of customers showing up, so you know, you might want to have minimal staff. So we're gonna anticipate that, but however, you never know, right? That could be some busy day, who knows? There may be some event going on in your town nearby, so all of a sudden you get this influx of customers, and if you're just there, you're there to service when the customers are coming through the door, but you can still anticipate, well, hey, it's a Tuesday, or hey, it's earnings report season, so I think we're going to get a lot of customers coming through the door. Or, you know what, we're no earnings report coming, we got no FOMC, we got no contract rollover. You know what, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of customers. You guys kind of get that? So with that, you're going, well, I don't know that I'm going to get a whole lot of trades, set up opportunities. And that's how you want to anticipate things. But at the end, doesn't matter what your anticipation is.
On the twos.
You anticipate being ready to react, but at the end of the day, we are simply reacting and servicing the customer. If you're thinking about that, like as that customer comes to the door, you're there to service. Now, the service is up to you. The quality of your service, that has to do with how big of a trade you're going into. Are you adding to the position appropriately? Are you pushing your targets out? Are you maximizing the profits that you are returning from that opportunity to purchase? Okay. All right, the analogies. You know, let me know if you guys appreciate the analogies or if I have beat that dead horse. I know some of you guys have been around my program for a while. You guys have heard those, but it's been a while since I did those, and we're in a live stream here, and tomorrow is Friday, Thursday kind of being one of our best days to trade, and tomorrow will be early in, early out. So figured I'd take the opportunity to go ahead and do it today, to kind of chat about it. And let's see, any other stats that we want to look at here for that? I'm seeing
harmonic pattern.
Nasdaq on there with RTY.
Look for a short.
A lot of good trade setups. If you're still trading the afternoon session, I may trade the afternoon session. We'll come back and look to see if I can push over 2K here today, maybe. There's a lot of good opportunities. You can just tell the market will probably stay at some good speed here today. That is what I would anticipate. And oh, so today, I was like, I knew there was one other thing. And so today, so 87% today. Again, a lot of, you could tell today was a lot easier than yesterday, right? Go back and watch those times where it's a bit slower, especially compare like today to go watch last Friday's video where it's just so slow, right? And then there was one of the videos, I called it, you know, the day I overtrade, right? I'm done with my 6 trades and I have these beautiful setups and I go ahead and I take them, and you know, I end up, you know, losing a little bit. You know, it wasn't a bunch. It wasn't like, oh, it took some, you know, solid losers, full losses or anything. But no, I mean, they were getting into what looked like, oh, here we go, we're going to get a continuation. And then no, it kind of faked, was going to do a continuation, pulls back and ends up, you know, stop one. Then a red dot shows up. And I'm like, okay, here, we'll give it one more shot, 2-try rule, take another short at that little stab, like to finish out the bottom. But no, that ended up being the bottom and pops up. So, you know, I lose another 6 ticks on a small trade. You know, it wasn't going big, but I was trying to push get a little extra oomph out of it for the competition, and you know, ended up not with as high a P&L. I believe I was as high that day as 1,200. Ended up closing out the day around like 700, giving that up after commissions and those 2 trades. So, you know, again, that I really feel like 5 or 6 trades maximizes your opportunity for a 1-hour session. You guys understand that? It's like we've got 2 rules on it: 5 or 6 trades or 60 to 90 minutes, whichever comes first with our trading system. We're just methodical about that, and then that's our video game. It's like playing even like a basketball game. It has time limits. It's like, okay, let's put these 2 competitors in the ring. They've got an hour to see who scores the most points, and that's what we're doing. Okay, you got your hour. The game begins. Your heads down, thumbs up, you know, going, right? And then you look up and you see what the score is, right? It's like, it is a lot like basketball, you know, and for as far as points go, just because you're, you know, the best basketball team that's out there right now, like depending on who you're playing against, their defense, their offense, their pace, you know, you may score 100 points a game. That may be your average, but doesn't mean like, oh, well, then every game they're gonna be making 100 points. You can't say that, right? Like, you don't know what you're gonna anticipate, what the other team is going to be, and what they're gonna be able to do against you in any given day, right? You can anticipate, well, they can make approximately 80 to 100 points, but you know, maybe you have a game where it's 70s, 60s. You know, the point score is all over the place. So 87 profit factor, that's insane. Okay, so this means I basically really didn't have any losers today. I think it was, the scratch play that, that profit factor is, I wouldn't say it's not accurate. It's obviously accurate, but it's not telling you anything. It's not like, oh, his winners are 22 times. Well, yeah, today, because they're basically all wins. There shouldn't have even been a loss in there. I have like a scratch trade.
Short.
Max drawdown, $77. Compared to the profits, that's basically nothing. Right. The profit factor, this is probably more realistic, like a 2.
On the 2s.
But again, it's all the balance. It's a balance out. And people are always asking, well, what's your percentage? So they're expecting that percentage to be every single day. No, you're going to have days that are less, days that are more, and then you're looking for the overall. But yeah, I feel like I'm beating that dead horse on the stats. One of those stats that is kind of neat to look at on occasion, if you look at your max adverse excursion, if you want to know how much heat you're taking, unfortunately, they don't do this per contract, so it's hard because this is per trade. The way that this is calculated on NinjaTrader, unless they've changed it, I can go back and look through documentation. But as of the 8-9 years I've been with NinjaTrader, that has never really changed. I wish it was a little more like you could divide it by per contract or per trade would be nice. But this tells you, so that's how many ticks are going to go against me. $23. So on a $5 stock, it's round it because you need some rounding there. Let's round it up to 25. So that's 5 ticks of heat. You guys get that? So this tells you your 5 ticks of heat. So you can try to maximize that, maybe enter in on a trade, and then as a trade pulls back 5 ticks, you can add in on 5 ticks. See how simple that kind of thought process is? I have a whole video around that on max adverse excursion. If you're a real stats person, really want to play into your stuff, and if you're at an account size where you can, put in more size, that's something that you can look at, particularly if you're automating. That becomes more important, where you'll know where to add is adding in. Well, what is your normal adverse excursion? It's that. So what you might want to do is the 5 ticks minus 1. So you'll go, okay, I'm going to add to the position 4 ticks in as any position enters in for me. 4 ticks in, keep the stop in the same place. Now you're maximizing your targeting because you've added to it by entering in on additional contract entries on an adverse excursion. That is your average. But you also can't break out your winners on this. Is another one of those things that I don't like, because a loser on one of these is going to include the entire, and so it skews the average. So you have to take that into account when you're doing your calculations if you are coding. And this is for my automated stuff that matters more for. But I figured while I was here, and I've still got a few minutes to kill there, and there we go, talking about the stats. I will close it up right there. We'll do a quick recap this evening. We'll release Wrecking Ball Wednesday on yet another scammer. Day Trader Paradise is on the menu. If you guys want to make sure you guys share that with your friends and make sure they know, your friends and your loved ones, I will recommend to avoid the Day Trader Paradise room. You are more than welcome to use them. Obviously, can't force your hand not to, but if you're going to give suggestions, all we're going to do is we're going to present the facts that we have about them, and then people can make decisions, because unfortunately these places hide the facts, hide things, and they say things and they do things, and then they just think it's going to disappear because, oh, it'll go away. They delete their stuff on social media. Like yesterday after we exposed them, they delete everything on their YouTube channel. Now they say, oh, we didn't delete it, we just set it to private. That is the same thing. You've removed it from public view. Exactly. You can't go back and, nobody can go and see it for themselves. But, we made the timestamps, we recorded it, we're going to show you guys and just give people the opportunity to know the truth, because the truth will always set you free. And I remember myself when I'm coming into this industry, got originally scammed like everybody else multiple times. And then you realize, hold on, you can't believe it, but they just don't tell the truth, and they're not upfront and forward about things with you, and you're the one who gets stuck with the bag. I do not appreciate that. I did not appreciate that back then. I would not appreciate it right now, and I would have liked to have been able to Google whoever it is that I was looking for, whether it was, back in the day with Joseph James and the School of Trade craziness, or Oliver Velez. Okay, I wish I could have been able to Google and have that information available to me so I could have made a better decision. Because I spent thousands thousands of dollars on those programs. Even Invest Tools. I wish back when I did Invest Tools for like one of my very first one, my friend Tuan Nguyen, that just suggested them to go and look. And so, you know, going to all the webinars and going to all the seminar stuff. And at that time, that was way back in the day when you actually went to a seminar. You go to a hotel, you're sitting down and they're presenting, and you know, just NASDAQ you really feel like, oh, this is wow, this is cool. Look at all that. Oh yes, all the hindsight stuff, which I didn't know. I'm sitting in the same bleachers everybody else is and going, okay, yeah, I can learn this. I'm a smart person. I've done well, and you know, a lot of the points in my career and all the things that I've done. And you know, Tuan said, hey, he likes trading the stock market like this. Let's go check it out. And anyhow, that kind of stuff, I wish I could have been able to Google and go, hey, whatever group, review, and see information about these places so that I could make maybe a wiser decision. So we are going to be there to help people do that. And we have exposed several of these groups with the truth. Again, all we're doing is presenting the truth. We also, by the way, we're not here to slander or libel anybody. If somebody issues corrections, we reach out to the groups to say, do you have any things you would like to correct or make statements about? And, you know, we have received no official response from these groups. You know, they rant on and on in their live streams. We ask them to, hey, you know, professionally, as the same way that we reach out to you professionally for your responses. These rants that they go on where it's a one-way communication, that's what they rely on for you to be able to have only a single one-way communication. You can't get on a conversation with them. They're a little bit mental. If you guys have ever seen these cats, there's always some kind of psychosis going on, and it's just ego level stuff, whether they're wearing a Mr. Miyagi bandana, it's maybe squeezing the life out of their brain, and that's maybe why they're having some malfunctions upstairs. I don't know what, but you can't have reasoning, logical conversations with them. They play into your emotions and all of the whatever. They start just yelling and ranting and all the stuff. It's a mess. You don't want to have to mess with it. You don't want to have to take your time with it. So we'll just put the truth out there in a presentable format. And again, if they would like to retort to those, and it's funny when you ask them for emails and they're like, all of a sudden they're like clipping together snippets of stuff and shaking things around so you can't see, but when you really boil it down and you still see, like, you didn't change anything. You changed your story, and that's the problem. You always change your story, and if this is the first time you ever heard it, it's always, oh, well, you heard that story. But if you knew what they used to say or what they had been showing and showing where they're getting wrecked like crazy, you know, we're going to present all that. Sorry, I'm getting on my soapbox here, and we had a great session here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't want to end on a negative note there, but hopefully you guys are excited to watch some of our next videos, maybe spend the weekend going through some of our content. There are 30 free videos specifically on strategies that we trade to go and learn, execute. Again, you can go and download the software for free. There are no strings attached to that. We don't put you on some email list when all of a sudden you're going to start getting spammed like crazy, or no upsell, all that kind of garbage. We don't do any of that. We want people who want to be here, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for hanging out. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and the rest of the gang. Listen up, that Big H-Town. See ya.